And my fellow colleagues on the dais, I want to thank the committee for their work and consideration of this bill, and I accept the committee amendments. And I believe we have witnesses coming on the phone. On the phone. We'll have witnesses on the phone. Okay. So there's been a lot of misinformation about this bill that's been spread by the opposition. Therefore, I want to be very, very clear about what this bill does do. This bill is specific to pregnancy and pregnancy outcomes. Specifically, this bill will ensure that no one in the state of California will be prosecuted for ending a pregnancy or experiencing pregnancy loss. In the past 2 decades, at least 1,300 pregnant people have been criminally prosecuted for having miscarriages or stillbirths or self-managing an abortion. California is not exempt from this. Despite clear law that ending or losing a pregnancy is not a crime, prosecutors in this state have charged people with homicide offenses for pregnancy loss. 2 examples are the cases of Chelsea Becker and Adora Perez, 2 California women who were recently prosecuted and imprisoned for their stillbirths. These charges were only recently dismissed and or vacated, and only after these women were behind bars for months in the case of Chelsea Becker, and years in the case of Adora Perez, who is still currently in jail pending charges. AB 2223 is intended to protect against the criminalization of pregnancy outcomes, and people should not be subject to prosecution for any tragic situation that may happen during the pregnancy. This is the intent of this bill. However, the opposition has created a narrative that this bill legalizes infanticide, or quote unquote, the killing of babies. That is simply not true. This bill does not legalize infanticide. Specifically, as it relates to perinatal death, this bill protects parents who are experiencing extremely tragic pregnancy outcomes. As parents experience tragic situations, they should be supported as they mourn their loss and not criminalized. No person should have to endure prosecution as they grieve a tragic loss that happened during their pregnancy, and this bill provides those protections. Reproductive justice in California includes clarifying that nobody will be prosecuted for any pregnancy loss or pregnancy outcome. Therefore, AB 2223 will remove outdated provisions requiring coroners to investigate certain pregnancy losses, clarify that the Reproductive Privacy Act prohibits criminalization of pregnancy loss and pregnancy outcomes, and create a private right of action for people whose rights have been violated. I want to thank our sponsors, the ACLU California Action, Black Women for Wellness Action Project, California Latinas for Reproductive Justice, If When How, Lawyering for Reproductive Justice, NARAL Pro-Choice California, and Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California. Witnesses testifying with me today on the phone are Samantha Lee with the National Advocates for Pregnant Women and Farah Diaz Teo of If When How, Lawyering for Reproductive Justice. And I would respectfully ask for an aye.